Hey everybody, it's Amy Graham, the Badass Valkyrie, and today's Vlogmas is going to be craft time with Amy. I have gotten both of these books. As you can tell, they have been beaten up, and this one, the pages are coming out, and they're just hammered. I got them, each one of these, for $1 at my little damaged freight store. So, but I loved what was in them. And this is by Elena Brower, and this is Jenny Lawson. Let me just tell you, I got this one today, and it is hilarious. I have to, okay. So, she's just hilarious. And it was like, this is really cute. And she wrote this book when she was depressed. She's dealt with depression and anxiety and all of that. And like, there are little pieces in this book which just made me bust a gut. So like here, turns out though that all books come in weirdly specific numbers of pages. And so even though the last page was technically the end, it wasn't a good number. So we had to either cut pages to get to the specific number or add pages. So I chose to add so that you could fill in the blank pages with stuff like lists of animals you'd be happy to sleep with if it wasn't illegal. Victor, who is her husband, just read this and said, I need to clarify that I'm referring to adorable wild animals that you would catch shit about if you bought them to snuggle with. Like, and she is completely my brain. So it's like the time I tried to rent a dozen otters to play with for a day, and the zoo was like, we don't rent animals, stop calling. And I was like, what about river otters? Are those less endangered than the ocean ones? Because I'm not picky. And they said that wasn't the point. So I asked about beavers, because those are basically cheap otters. And they were like, we don't even have beavers. And then I was like, why do zoos even exist anymore? And now they're out of business, or they blocked my number. One of those. The point is that I'm trying to fill all my holes with animals, and the world is making it difficult. Emotional holes, I mean. Not physical holes. Gross. I wouldn't fill my holes with otters. That's illegal and probably causes infections. Wait, I've forgotten what I was talking about. Tangent. So, oh, I remember, blank pages. So this is where the blank pages should be. But then I asked if I could fill them with stuff, and that's how you ended up with a coloring book that has a bonus after the credits Easter egg about why filling your holes with wild animals will give you a urinary tract infection. Blame the book industry for all of this, y'all. And I'm just like, I love her. I love her beyond compare. So it was just hilarious. And it's like stuff like, you know, I'm going to make, it's just amazing. And if you fuck it up, then just scrawl a big anarchy A on it and then be all punk rock while screaming, I don't color inside the line, bitches, I'm above the law. This makes me so happy. And I was just like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is nice artwork. And for $1, I could use this for something. So, an owner's manual for dangerous minds. And crayons and matches not included, but recommended. So, I highly recommend this book. It is awesome. But, like I said, this one was beat to shit. So, also, the good thing about this book is that they're all perforated. So, like, it's just awesome. So like right here, and I will show you, I have a method to my madness, I promise. So you can just pull it out easily, and then you have this beautiful page that says, sometimes we say things we mean, sometimes we mean things we say, and on rare occasions we do both. Then you flip the page, get fucking inspired. I love that. And like in all her little things, it's like this space intentionally left empty. Breathing room. And it's just her doodles and stuff. So with these two books, I was like, I really like these. I bet I could do something with them. And I was correct. So what I have done is incorporated another thing that I really like, but I hardly ever use. Now this is a Patricia Nash ring, A5 ring binder. Now, I got this, loved it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome for having another A5. It's a little bit short for a regular A5, but I loved it nonetheless, and I paid like $15 for it, and it's leather. It's got lovely crackling in it. It's kind of like, almost like a black patent, well, not really even patent, but a black Maverick. So you can see all those beautiful, and it's not like it's cracked. That's just the leather. And I'm just like, oh, I love this. So what I have done is I wanted to use this because I've thought about selling it, and I'm like, no, I love it, but I don't know what to use it for. And so I've thought about putting different things in it, and then I saw these two books, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could take things out of these books and put them in here and make my own, like, inspirational little, I don't know, collage, junk journal kind of thing. And I can use all my stuff from Cocoa Daisy, all of that. Whenever I love being creative every day, and that's one of my goals for 2020 is to be creative every day. Do something creative every day. And I loved the stuff that's in here. Now, this was from the winter, the December Cocoa Daisy. And so I never used the papers. I'm like, I have all of these papers, and I'm like, oh, I could cut those down. They're cardstock. I could use my tabs. I'm like, oh, perfect. It's like a perfect storm, a perfect craft storm. So what I've done is so you can just kind of take a quick look. And there are things that are too long. This is like my cheat sheet. So like this would be too long. Well, actually it would be just enough to cover that. So you could get all of that. But, you know, I don't necessarily have to do it that way. You know, because the words would all just barely fit. But, like, I could cut out parts of this, all of that. So obviously this book is bigger, but like this, you can cover that up and you can see that it would fit. And then what I've done is, like, at my my desk, I have like a lamp, and I can like hold it up to the light, and you can't really I can't really demonstrate it here, but you can hold it up to the light, and then you can flip it over, and you can make sure that whatever's on the other side, you can kind of position it. Now, this is how I've done that. So this is out of Jenny Lawson's book. So there are wonderful worlds inside of you, wonderful and terrible and brilliant worlds. I love that. I'm not always good at everything, but I'm very good at being me, which I love. And then I could color or watercolor or anything. And like, all of the cuts haven't been perfect, but I like that. This was my absolute favorite. I opened it up to this, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting this book. Weird On, you badass motherfucker. Yes! Sorry about cuss words, y'all, but yeah. And then this was the opposite page to this, and I just punched this wrong. I was like, ugh, but that's okay. So sometimes people come into your life just to teach you how not to become them. My mother is one of those people. She taught me that it was better to be uniquely broken than perfectly the same. And this was a big, long feather, but I just cut it down and had all the words, and I'm like, it's perfect. And I can journal on these pages. I can color, I can do whatever. Then this is the Practice You, a journal. And I loved all the artwork and everything in this. And a lot of this says, like, consider a moment when you felt challenged, afraid, or sad at age 12. And I'm not so much into that one. But, like, this is my blessing of love. This blessing has no beginning and no end. And you can draw, you can write, you can do whatever. And it's just whatever you want. These are my thoughts of compassion for myself. And through this next year, my health and my wellness are going to be my number one priority. And taking care of me is gonna, self-care, taking care of me, all of that is gonna be my mantra, taking care of me. Because I need to make sure that I am the healthiest I possibly can be. And I kind of jumped into this because I was so excited about this, which I did not tell you guys. This morning was supposed to be my ablation, my neck ablation. As you can tell, I have a stuffy nose. I've had a cold since I got back from New Orleans. Evidently, you cannot have this surgery or this procedure when you have a cold, because your lymphatic fluids and your head cold, all of that, the fluids in your ears, all of that can totally screw up the surgery. So I have now been postponed till January 22nd, which absolutely, utterly frustrated me beyond belief, because I'm like, I wanted this issue to be done, and it was going to be done by the end of the year. And I was like, okay, finished. I can start 2020 with feeling good, starting to run, doing whatever I wanted to do. And my best friend Kelly, she pointed out, she goes, it just wasn't in the cards. This is the third time you had to push this off because of health reasons. So just think of it as the fates are watching out for you, and it was just not the right time, which I wholeheartedly understand. But it was just frustrating. And so I was a little irate. One, because I went in at 9 o'clock this morning and I couldn't have any coffee or anything to drink since 3:30 last night. And I'm like, y'all are gonna cause me great amounts of pain and I can't have coffee? This is gonna be an issue. Not the smartest thing. My husband's like, you were a little bitter. And I'm like, ugh. Because then after not having coffee and then telling me that I can't have it because I'm sick, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I just wasted an entire sick day for nothing? Woosah. But it wasn't for nothing, because I went to my little shop, found this. I already had this one, but I found this, and I'm like, this prompted me to do what I'm doing now. So it all worked out. Anyway, so this is just, it's got beautiful artwork in it. And it's like, this is how I hold space. This is what I'm serving right now. And it has different prompts, or this is how I remember to see each day as a gift. And I can journal about that. I can put pictures. I can put die cuts, glue, whatever I need. And do however this makes me feel. And so it is a wonderful thing to do. And it's a beautiful book. I mean, truly, the inside of it was great, except for parts of these pages were starting to come out. And like, it's all written, or not written, it's all sewn, bound. And so here, I mean, it just, like, the pages just come out. And so with my little guide, I can see, I want to do that side of it. So you can see that I can actually get everything on that page. And so I can, it's like it was just made to do this. And so then the holes would be there and it would be perfect. And so where and with whom do you feel most at home? And I can just write different things out. I don't have to write it on there. I can put it over here. You know, that's how it was set up. You can write wherever, do whatever. So this is when I feel most alive. I can bend myself, and that can help someone else. You know, you can put pictures, you can do whatever. And so turning this, I mean, the cover on it, you know, it didn't really bother me too much. I was like, well, you know, I can try to do it, or I can try to just paint over it. But then pages were coming out of it. And so I was like, well, I think I can do that. And so this is where this came from. And so I just cut certain things down. And like this page it did not work how I had it. So this was one whole page, and this is how it was. And it says all of these things, I am all of these things and none of them. And so you just kind of write in or put pictures or whatever. But it just didn't work. I couldn't make it fit. And so what I did was I just turned it like that. I am all of these things and none of them. And then on the back, this is how I love my body. And then this one was just a blank page with some pink on it. So you can mix it up. You can turn it any way that you want. How did I have that? There we go. And so this one kind of flowed with this, with the squares. And they weren't facing pages, but like here you can tell like a little bit of the flower got cut off. So you just kind of make artistic choices and figure out how to do it. And I love this. I absolutely love this. And so I want to do both of these books and put them in here so that in the coming year, I can just, and this is something that I want to do just like during the day or in the evening when I'm trying to wind down and be creative, or when I just feel the urge, you know, I needed something that wasn't typical, you know, it wasn't like just journaling or memory keeping or whatever. This can be whatever I want it to be. And, you know, it just turned out that I can take broken things and make it work for me. And so, you know, taking these 2 pages and putting those 2 together, facing each other, I feel get fucking inspired. I don't know. It just spoke to me. And, you know, some of you guys out there may be thinking, okay, she's lost her mind. But I love how this is coming together. And I love that I can use my rings. I love rings, but it's hard for me to do my everyday carry and stuff like that in them because I love my Hobonichi so much. And y'all know I have tried to go back to rings. I like the pocket rings. I loved decorating the pocket rings, but it was hard to use it. And so I have all of these rings. I have got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got like 6 pocket ring binders. I've got 2 or 3 personals, and then I've got 2 A5s. And I'm like, I was so sad that I wasn't able to use this. And I'm like, there's got to be a way I can use this. And it just was an epiphany. And I was like, oh, yes. And then I can start putting in ephemera and pictures and whatever I wanted to do and just make it about me. And it can be as much or as little as I want. And I love that because I can put whatever I want in here. I just wanted to show you guys what I'm using. This is the Recollections A5 hole punch. And so you can get it at Michael's. This one was 30% off and I got it for $18. But then she had another 25% off your total sale. So just look for coupons. It's normally $25, but I have one of the Rapsico ones that you have to like adjust, but it was not making these correctly for the A5. And so I love it for my pocket, but this one is perfect. I just put it in there. You line it up with those 2 marks right there, and it does it great every time. The teal one, they don't come in colors. The teal one is the A5. The gold one is the personal. And so I figure I can do this for these 2 books, and I can use ephemera, cards, whatever I want in my personal and even my pocket, and just put stuff in and make it my own junk journal. But it's not really a junk journal because it's like, it has quotes and, I mean, I guess it is, but you know, it's got prompts and things like that to write about and things like, and stuff. Anyway, y'all can tell I'm a little excited about it. So this is what I'm going to spend the next few nights doing. And when I get it all done, I'll show it to you. This is just what I've done tonight. because when I got home, I'm like, I'm going to work on that. And I was digging stuff out, and I'm like, oh, and it was so satisfying to sit there, and I just, literally, this is my cutting board, and I will show you exactly how I do this. So let me pull this over and turn this the right way. It is so freaking easy. So this one will be the easiest one to do. So I have my lead holder here. So let me put that to the side. So this is my guide, and I've been looking for a piece of like heavier laminated plastic. I'm gonna get my laminator out. I just didn't have time to do it. And laminate something that's clear, that's this size, so that then I can kind of see through it, and I can adjust where I want it. So, because right now, obviously, I have to just kind of guess. But if you got a clear laminating sheet and then just ran it through your laminator so it was thicker, and then did this, or if you have a piece of like from your Erin Condren's, the cover or whatever that's see-through, just use that. So you can see it and then make it the right size, and then that's your guide. But I'm just kind of estimating it here. And so that covers that. But what I would like to do is get as much of this as I can, of this little design over here, so I'd have something to draw. And so there's that. So I don't, right here in the center there, you can see the period. So I don't want to punch a hole in that, so I'm going to try to move it down so that it's right in between there. And then that gives me enough there. So then what I do is I just mark a little line there, a little line there, oops, a little line there, and a little line there. So you can kind of see, those are just for the guides. And something on that lead holder had schmutz in it. So then I can hold this up, and that's going to get that whole thing. So I take my cutter, and this is the one that has the little guide underneath it, the little piece of wire. And so I just put the wire on that pencil mark. And I try to do the sides first, because that way I'm not cutting it catawampus. So that way the two ends I use at the end, so it gives me the straightest cut. But you can do it however you want to do it. But there's that. And then there's that cut. And that cut. And like here, like this has a little bit of design, and I could use that gluing in somewhere or something if I wanted to do that. I usually keep the scraps that have designs and stuff on them, just because if I ever wanted to use it for whatever little bit. And then there's that. So that is cut. Put that over here. And you can see it's the same size. So that works there. That works there. And do I want, you can decide where you want to put your holes. And I think I want to put the holes on this side. So this is there. So, yeah. Make sure that's the way it's going to be. Okay. All right. So then I just take this and I line it up with those little lines. Do that. Bada boom, bing, bada boom. there you go. That's right there. And stick this in here, wherever. There you go. And I can write whatever I want and journal and just be creative. And I love this. So there you go. My creative little bit for tonight. And I'll show you here some of the other pieces that like came off. Like this is the edge of that feather, which I could totally use in something else in like a collage. Just different colors, little bits of things that I could put in. And, you know, like this, I cut off one of the I love you things. And I'm just like, I could just use them for various pieces. This was a piece of the map that was too big. And so I could cut bits of that off and put it in to collage. And it's just fun stuff. So, you know, when I feel like I want to be creative, I can just sit down. Everything will be in here and pretty much ready to go. And I can just flip to a page and see what I feel like doing. If I feel like doing one of these, or if I just feel like coloring or watercoloring or whatever, I can do that. If I just feel like putting in pictures, I'm going to get the Canon Ivy. I'm waiting until after Christmas. Hopefully that that they'll go on sale somewhere. If any of you know of anybody having a sale, or if you've seen them on sale before, if you let me know that would be great. Because like Michael's doesn't carry them, and you can't just, you know, use your 50% coupon on them or anything like that. So I know Target does, and I think Walmart does. So if you have a line on where I can get a Canon Ivy, the little photo printers, let me know, because I will be using that in 2020. So anyway, here is my weird, fun, cool journal junk thing. I don't know. I don't really know what to call it. I mean, I guess it really is a junk journal but it's also those books. So, you know, and what I loved in this book, she talks about how she's like, make it yours, rip it up, do whatever you want to do. This is your book. And I'm like, I love that. So, you know, it's awesome. And I love that she's like, it's your book, dude. You can forget your secrets and just use it as a coaster. You can rip it up, you can burn it up, you can light it on fire. And I'm like, I love this. And that's exactly what I'm doing, is I am changing it up, making it crazy. And I even have like old calendars and such that like this was from 2018 and I never used it. But like all of these little things, like it's never too late to be what you might have been. I can put this in like for notes and stuff, and I can just cut that out and paste it in. It's awesome. I love these. So I can just journal about something, and I'm just going to cut all of that out. I can actually pull these out and make lists out of them. These I think I'm going to actually pull out and use in my pocket, in a pocket rings, and because then I can actually fold 2 in half, and like this one, the outside one that says lists, or I could fold it into 3s and put it in. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to try different things. So I also thought that I could take this cover and cut it down and use it for something. So, you know, I am all about trying to use my stuff this year and figure out how to be creative every single day and use everything that I have. And, well, I'm not going to use everything because, let's face it, I got a lot of shit. But use stuff that I already have and enjoy being creative and doing things like that. So anyway, I have rambled long enough. Hopefully you guys have had a good day. Hopefully it has turned out better than mine. Even though mine has turned out good, it did not start out that way. But I'm back to work tomorrow, and then I go see Star Wars on Friday night with my husband. I also have an escape room for my Christmas party at work that same afternoon. So the vlog will probably be very quick during that time frame, but otherwise, I will talk to you guys soon, and enjoy every moment of your life, because, you know, life is worth living and every moment counts. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.